Hi, I'm Claire Tansey, food editor at Chatelaine magazine. Today I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks for roasting meat. This is a very small beef tenderloin. Beef tenderloin is boneless. It's an absolutely gorgeous cut of meat. It is a little bit more expensive than your typical roast of beef, but that's because it's really tender, it's already flavorful, and look at it. It's so easy to carve. You don't have to worry about a thing. And over here is just a standard chicken. But I'll start with the beef. When it comes to roasting, you really just want to add seasoning and then throw it in a hot oven. I have a simple mixture of mustard and horseradish, and I'm going to slather that on. And then I'm going to drape a little bit of bacon on it, and that is it. And you can do this treatment to any kind of beef roast. The important thing is to buy a cut that's already tender, and that's important for all types of roasting. You don't want to buy a cut that is a kind of a tougher cut. Those are the ones that are meant for braising. I've got the beef on a rack in a rimmed baking sheet. If you have a roasting pan, that's fine, but you can use almost anything that you have. You don't want to use anything that's too deep because roasting is all about hot heat circulating around a piece of meat in a kind of a fast way. And then over to the chicken. When the twine is around it, the chicken is all tight and snug up next to each other, which is fine for packaging, but when you want it to cook, you want the heat to really circulate around the chicken. That way it'll cook a lot more evenly. So if you have any twine on your chicken, you can just clip it off and throw it out. Now with any kind of poultry, whether it's turkey or chicken or capon or quail, a little bit of butter. You can also use olive oil. You really just want a little bit of fat, and that's going to help the skin to crisp up. And with a chicken, it can be as simple as a quarter of a lemon. And if you have a bit of garlic, you can put the garlic right into the cavity as well. And if you have any herbs, you can always pop in a sprig of rosemary or two. Take the wings, and you see those are little wing tips, and just bend them back behind the chicken. Because the wings are so small, they tend to burn quickly, and so if you just tuck them underneath, it kind of protects them while they're baking and roasting. So I'm just going to sprinkle salt all over the chicken, and I'm not going to be stingy with it, and put on some pepper as well. Now roasting times are different for every cut of meat. This is a very small beef tenderloin, so it's not going to cook for too long, and of course I like to serve mine rare or medium rare. Depending on how well you like it done, cook it longer. A chicken, which is about this size, this is about 3.5 or 4 pounds. I don't recommend going any bigger. It's going to take an hour plus about 15 minutes. So this chicken cooked for about an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes. It's about 4 pounds, and so that's about right. You can tell by looking at it, it's golden. There's all this beautiful golden juices in the pan. And if I give the leg a wiggle, it's really loose. Now that's a kind of an easy way to tell. If you want to be absolutely 100% sure that your chicken is cooked, use a digital instant read thermometer, and you pop it into the thigh, like right under there, where it's kind of the thickest part of the chicken, and it should be about 175 degrees. Now once it comes out of the oven, it's important with a roast, and this refers to all roasts, beef, turkey, lamb, chicken, they have to rest. And that means to just sit there on the pan and relax for about at least 10 minutes and up to half an hour depending on the size of the roast. That's going to make it a lot easier to carve, and it's a step that a lot of people think that they can skip over, but I really recommend resting. It helps carving, it helps with flavor, it even helps with making gravy. So this chicken's been resting, and now I want to carve it. The way I like to start by carving is to kind of get the legs away from the rest of the chicken, just like this, but I haven't completely cut them off yet. The wings as well will probably almost pop right off. Yep. And they go onto the platter. Somebody always likes the wing. And then I like to take the breast off and slice it into pieces. So I'm going to just go down one side of the breastbone. And then using a fork and my knife, I'm going to kind of pull the whole breast away from the bone. When a chicken is fully cooked, this happens really easily. It just pulls right away from the carcass. Now, once that breast is off that side, it's even easier to see where the leg is going to come out. So the leg will actually just come right away from the carcass. And this pan full of beautiful drippings makes the most wonderful gravy. Just scrape all of this into a small saucepan, add a little bit of white wine, bring it to a boil, and then pour it over your sliced chicken. It's the easiest thing for a dinner party. Simply throw a roast in the oven.